No gold is not in her. She's a dime.
Welcome to another wonderful edition of the Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy,
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
and today we're going to talk about a lot of different topics, but the main one that we're going to talk about is yet another eBay glitch. And I know you're probably stunned by that, aren't you?
I can only imagine which one we're talking about today.
Well, it's one that I haven't come across, but there's a very good reason why it hasn't happened to me. But it has happened to you, and you had mentioned it a couple of different times. And then I went on the Facebook Resellers Primetime Treasures Facebook page, which you should check out and join if you're not part of. And a couple of different people had mentioned it on there as well, as that they're having a problem. But I've been kind of watching various people, and I don't think anybody's really put it together that it's actually a widespread problem. And we're talking about when you go to make offers to buyers. You've got something listed for $20 and you offer a 20% off discount, and so they get the thing $16. It's supposed to work that you $16 plus your shipping charge. However, as you have noted any number of times.
Yep.
And how did you first become aware of this?
A customer contacted me and said, I got the offer. It's a great price. However, it says free shipping. When I go to check out, the shipping comes back. And unlike Paperboy, Mr. Magazine does not do any free shipping. So that was an issue. And then, it kept recurring over and over again.
Right. Yeah. Multiple different people had said it. I believe you had a couple of where they purchased it and then contacted you and said, hey, can you revise the invoice because you charged me shipping, and your offer was no shipping, that sort of thing. And there's nothing on our end when we're sending it out that says anything like that whatsoever. Basically, you can offer a percentage off or you can offer a price. We tend to offer a percentage off. And literally all that it says is, 20% off, whatever number you put in, and then you can write a little note if you want to do so. There's also another minor issue that I've noticed, and you probably haven't noticed this, but you can, sometimes when it comes up, there's a little checkbox there that you can allow counteroffers, and other times you cannot do so.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Yeah, it happened one time. It said allow counteroffers, and I checked it. The problem is, you've got an item and you offer 20% off at $20, $16, and they contact you back and say, would you take $14 on it? And you say, yeah, I would make the offer. They cannot make the offer because there's no way to allow counteroffer. There's no way that I can rescind the offer. There's no way they can turn the offer down. So basically, you're kind of off in the middle of this no man's land, and there's no way that I've seen that you can change the amount of time the offer's for. Mine defaults to 2 days. So at that point, you've got a couple of different options. I've had a couple of people that have let it play through the 2 days and then made the offer back to me. And I've had a couple of people that I've told them, look, I'll take the 14. I know it says 16. Pay the 16 and I'll refund the difference. And I know you've done that at times with people too. It is kind of amazing to me. How many positives do you have?
160-something thousand.
And I've got over 50,000 positives as well. And we're talking $2, $1.50. And people really get weird about that they don't want to sit there and send $16 when they want to pay $14.
Right.
And I explained to them, you've got all of these, things we've sent back and forth.
Right.
That if I don't refund you, eBay will stand by it. And I'm really not selling, 100,000 items over time, and you're not selling, 500,000 items or how many ever items you've sold just to get $1.50 out of this one person.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. So I think there are some problems going on with the make an offer to a buyer. It's a great thing. Roughly, how many do you think you sell percentage-wise? If you send 100 out, how many of them do you end up selling, would you think?
Oh, geez, I would say between 10 and 20%.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I'm usually between, probably 5% nowadays is probably what I'm at. But that's tremendous because that's fairly recent. Was it a couple of years, year and a half, 2 years, something like that? And that didn't used to exist.
Oh, yeah, no, exactly.
And
definitely
so it
helps.
definitely gooses the sales quite a bit. So if you do send the offers out to your watchers and they've contacted you back and they've said, hey, what are you doing? You said free shipping. Now you're charging me shipping. They're not making it up. It is a known eBay glitch. And I believe you also had mentioned before the show that you've contacted eBay about this issue.
Yeah, and they always, it's like anything else, I will send it to our IT department. This is the first we've heard of it, and it's very frustrating. So sometimes I tell my manager, don't even bother calling because we know they're not going to have an answer for us at this point.
A couple of other quick things going on over here as well. Wanted to update you on. I sent you the email yesterday. We've started a store
Yeah, it's very
on
exciting.
the $1,000,000 Peddlers. It's kind of interesting when you start a store because I went online to search on how to set up my store categories because it's been so long since I've done so. And we started the entry-level store, the $7.95 a month or $4.95 a month if you pay a year in advance, or you guarantee for a year, I guess it would be. And everything online about where you set up, how you set up your store categories is from like 2015. So here I am reading how to do it, trying to find the drop downs, and they don't exist anymore. Finally, believe it or not, there are a few people on YouTube that know what they're talking about. I found a YouTube seller.
Jeez.
And they explained how to do it. And it's crazy that eBay itself, on a web search, does not give you the right answer. You have to go to YouTube to find out how to do anything on eBay. It's kind of crazy. So we've got that set up. And I know I was mentioning to you yesterday what we were going to try. You use promoted listings on some items, correct?
Yes.
And you've kind of varied the percentage-wise?
Yeah, it depends on the time and my sales and so forth, but we're hovering around 10%. We started out we tried out 1, 2, it was working, 3, 4 was working better, so we just creeped it up and we just got happy at 10%.
And I'm at 4.1%, same way, just moving it around. And if you're at 3.1, 4.1, or 4.5, I did not notice much of a difference, so I'm at 4.1. Probably should drop it down at some point. One thing that happens too, roughly how many items do you end up putting up at auction percentage-wise? Do you start a lot of things at buy it now, or do you put it up for auction
Believe it or
first?
not, we start every item up in auction.
Up at auction,
Every
right.
single. And that goes back years with the issues of the duplicate listings. We have so many listers, and sometimes they'll list a second one by mistake, and the eBay's monitoring that, and they always like to threaten you that it's in violation. So I said, you know what? We can't afford to get kicked off for something so stupid as this, in my opinion. And we just do everything auction now, and then it goes into the store afterwards.
And roughly how many, or how often do you change your percentage for the promoted listings?
I haven't in quite some time, actually.
See, and then what ends up happening is as you list stuff into the store, it is not up for promoted listings. It does not default. It just kind of sits there for items available to promote. And that's kind of what's happening to me, too. I've not changed my percentage for a while. So let's say that 50 items a week end from auction. Mm-hmm. Well, that's 50 items after 1 week, 100 after 2, 153.
Right.
So if you don't change it every once in a while, all of a sudden you've got 15,000 items up and 500 of them aren't in promoted at all, and then 550, then 600, et cetera,
Gotcha.
aren't promoted. Well, one of the things that we're doing on the $1,000,000 Peddlers site is just to kind of see what's going on, if it makes a difference or not. We're going to run 15% promoted listing fee, which is crazy high. But the funny thing about it is if you go in there, you can run any percentage you want from, I believe, 1% to 100%. Now, I'd love to give eBay 100% of the sales price plus fees on top of that. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out, what kind of a business plan that is, but I guess that would only make sense if you got some item that's like a loss leader that you got a couple of that you absolutely want to draw people into your store for some reason. Otherwise, I can think of zero reason why you would ever give 100%. Just absolutely
donating
foolish.
to eBay.
There you go.
You can check box
Oh yeah,
charity
eBay
donation.
charity. Yeah, right to eBay. Nice. So we're going to try that out, and we'll come back to you and tell you how that's going. And a little bit more exciting news. We've got a couple of things we need to clear. You're looking at me going, we have more exciting news?
Suspense is killing me.
We've got a couple of hurdles to clear, but sometime in the near future, we probably will be bringing you a road trip. We've got a large buy set up. We have to make sure that it's out of state, so we have to make sure that along the way we can do the travel, that we can do everything safely. Need to do that. We've also got to get a couple of clearances from a couple of people that are involved in the deal. Make sure that they're absolutely fine with us videoing and that sort of thing. And then we'll kind of go in and we'll show you how a big deal works. And then what we'll do after that is we'll do a couple of shows where we talk about other big deals that we've had. Quite a few magazines. I mean, if you want to give them just a quick little off the top little tease, roughly how many magazines will we be coming back home with?
Close to 100,000.
So 100,000 magazines in one deal. We'll give you a little bit of thing on how, a little bit behind the curtain on how all that works. So as long as we get a couple of clearances in that, we'll be telling you how to do that. So exciting times afoot for the $1 Million Peddlers, and stay safe. We'll see you next time.
Take it easy. Thank you.